Hi! In this lesson, we're going to look at how mathematical equations can be used to alter state values. We've already seen how the setState function can be used to update the value of a variable. But what if we wanted to have a variable that counted the number of times a user clicked a button, for example? Here's where we would want to use our mathematical equations inside our setState function. In this example, we have a variable named count, which is initially set to 0. When the increaseCount function is called, the state of the count variable is updated to add 1 to the previous value. We can see that we are using this.state.count inside our newly assigned value for count in order to make this happen. So when the program is first run, count has a value of 0. The increaseCount function has not yet been called, so count stays at that value of 0. When the increaseCount function is first run, 1 is added to the previous value of count, which was 0, which changes the state of the variable count to 1. When the increaseCount function is run again, 1 is added to the previous value of count, which was 1, which changes the state of the variable count to 2. The count variable will continue increasing in this way for as many times as the increaseCount function is called. Let's take a look at this functionality in the editor. You'll see here that we have an app that contains a state variable called count, which is initially set to 0. The value of that variable is being used inside this text component and shown on the screen here. When the button is pressed, the increaseCount function is being called. Right now, nothing happens because we don't have anything inside the increaseCount function. We want the value of the count variable to increase by 1 every time the button is pressed. So I can write count this.state.count plus 1. Now when we run the app, the number shown on the screen changes with every button press. What if we wanted to count by evens only? Well, we can just change this plus 1 to plus 2. And when we run our code again, we can see that we'll count by 2 every time we press the button. Now it's your turn to use mathematical equations inside your setState function.